Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing Midway. It's a 2019 film by Roland Emmerich. This is about the 1942 World War II Battle of Midway in the Pacific. It was the pivotal Battle of the Pacific where the American carrier group destroyed most of the Japanese carrier group. They caught them by surprise and really turned the tide of the Battle of the Pacific in World War II. It's a really big star-studded cast. It stars Woody Harrelson, Patrick Wilson, Luke Evans, Aaron Eckhart, Dennis Quaid, Nick Jonas, and Ed Skrein. So it's a pretty big star-studded cast for what was considered a independent film, and in fact, it had one of the largest budget of any independent film ever. So some things I liked about the film. It was very engaging. It pretty much spans from attack on Pearl Harbor up through the end of the battle in mid-June 1942. So it's very expansive. They pretty much, I see they went to a lot of extent to get most of these. They did a lot of somewhat research on this and got a lot of the characters right. The CGI was great. I mean, you could tell this was supposed to be a big blockbuster film, as Roland Emmerich always does. So there's a lot of big battle scenes, and it keeps you engrossed in the movie. So any of you that are big fans of big war films, this is definitely your kind of film. The things I kind of didn't like about it, well, the screenplay was a little weak as far as dialogue and the acting. Some of them did a little better job than others. I thought Woody Harrelson was really good as Admiral Nimitz. I think he brought good to the role. Dennis Quaid was really good as well as his Vice Admiral. And Patrick Wilson did as like an intelligence officer. I thought he did a really well job. Some others did not do so great job, like Ed Skrein. He was supposed to be a lieutenant named Dick Best, but unfortunately, you could tell he was kind of struggling with the accent. He was supposed to have a Jersey accent, and you could tell that his original British accent was trying to come through. So you could tell that was not a great runs. And the dialogue was very, kind of like, oh, we're gonna get those jobs, and we're gonna do this and that. And it was kind of very clunky. What you would expect from a typical war film. So nothing, Oscar winning there or memorable for that. So it was an engrossing movie, but some of the things I didn't like about it, I mean, it's very long. And like I said, they started from Pearl Harbor, which I was wondering, like, everybody pretty much knows what happened to Pearl Harbor. I don't know why the film had to start there. I don't know if Roland Emmerich was trying to one up Michael Bay, maybe trying to do a remake of Pearl Harbor at the beginning in the Middle East. I don't know why he had to spend the first 20 minutes rehashing Pearl Harbor. In my personal opinion, they started right after that, where the carrier got the sailors got the news of Pearl Harbor, and then you go from there, building up to Midway. And then they also, so they kind of go right from Pearl Harbor, and then they go through almost all the events leading up to Midway. They went to the Coral Sea battle there. They also did the Doolittle raid, which was 2 months before Midway. And I was thinking, like, okay, I mean, the Doolittle raid was significant, but why are we covering this film? This film's supposed to be about Midway. Because they went through all about Admiral Doolittle, Colonel Doolittle, and how he, crashed in China and he was trying to hide from the Japanese after he bombed Tokyo. And I was like, okay, this is good, but what does it have to do with Midway? It's kind of got off track there. I think Roland Emmerich kind of gets a little, too into himself about, like, oh, I've got to tell everything in every aspect, and I think the film got away to him. So I think that some parts of this definitely could have been edited down. This film was over 2 hours. I think definitely been under like a little over an hour and a half if he really does some good editing. So as for the battle itself, I think they did a really good job. I mean, you definitely get a perspective from both sides. You get a perspective throughout the film. You get perspective from both the American side and the Japanese side, which I thought that was pretty good, well-rounded. You see the strategies employed by not only the average sailors, but also the going up to the admirals and the commanders. So I thought that was well done, telling both sides of it. And so in the battle itself, is really good CGI. You like run in to the planes, where you see them bombing the carriers, and you get really up close, and you see the impact, and I thought that was all well done. So, but with obviously there was some historical flaws in the way they told it. And there was some accuracy, like I think with the comparison of the American planes versus the Japanese Zeros, how sometimes the American planes were outrunning the Japanese Zeros, which is not historically accurate. The Zeros were much faster fighters. So at least at this point of the war. So yeah, so it's a typical Roland Emmerich film. It's meant to be a big blockbuster film, and you watch it for the battles, and you're supposed to see the struggle, and you watch the good guy, our Americans, persevering at the end. So overall, it's an okay film, not a very memorable film. It's kind of forgettable. It definitely have the errors. I think definitely some of the movie could have been edited out. They kind of rehashed a little too more than it needed to. And also, since it was telling the movie from so many different perspectives, it kept jumping from one era to another. Like it jumped to the Americans, then it jumped to the Japanese, then it jumped to American civilians, then it would jump to this theater of the war, and then that theater of the war. It was like all over the place. So it's kind of at times hard to focus on what was going on. So I think, with this film, it definitely needs to should have chewed the fat there a little bit and cut that down. But like I said, for people who like war films, this is a good film for you. I think especially good to watch this weekend, 4th of July weekend. A nice, good patriotic film, war film to get you in that spirit. If it's a movie you like, then I recommend it. So it's not the best film out there. It's kind of every kind of a consumer kind of film. Just enjoy it and then forget about it. So I say it's an okay film if you're into this genre. Other than that, not much to talk about. So that's my review of Midway. And so once again, guys, thank you for watching. And if you could please like, share, and subscribe to help me grow my channel, much appreciated. Take care and have a happy 4th.